Deuteronomy 24, verse 1. When a man dies because he hath found some uncleanness in her, then let him write her a bill of divorcement and give it in her hand and send her out of his house. And when she is departed out of his house, she may go and be another man's wife.
So let's look at this. This is the law of divorce. He said that he found some uncleanliness in her. He just didn't like something she was doing. What happened? That he could divorce this woman. All right, because we understand that marriage is a lifelong covenant. So how is this the case? Give me Sirach Ecclesiasticus, the 25th chapter. And start with the 23rd verse.
Sirach 25, verse 23. A wicked woman abateth the courage, maketh an heavy countenance and a wounded heart. A woman that will not comfort her husband in distress, weak hand and feeble knees.
Right. So the topic here said what? A wicked woman. All right. A wicked woman abateth the courage. What does it mean that she abateth the courage? Courage. Like the courage. Right. Why does she? What does it mean that he abated the courage? That's discourages him. Right. Exactly. Wicked woman discourages her husband from doing the will of the Most High, from doing the things that he's supposed to do. The Most High, but she will tell him, no, you don't need to be out there, right? You need to be here with me, right? Read that again.
A wicked woman abateth the courage, maketh an heavy countenance and wounded heart.
Make a heavy countenance and a wounded heart. I mean, the man he'll be looking sad, you know, right? Everybody like, damn, brother, why he wasn't there? He's looking at the floor. His heart is wounded, okay, because he know that he's in a situation that is preventing him from doing the will of the Most High, or he's allowing to prevent him, I should say. Read.
A woman that will not comfort her husband in distress.
That will not what?
Comfort her husband in distress.
When the man's stressed out, you know, you come home to that woman, you know, instead of comforting him, what does she end up doing? Right? Increasing the stress, right? Which, you know, this is the case for a wicked woman. Now, I want to understand, this is the topic. The topic is a wicked woman. Of course, a righteous woman would not be found doing these things. Read.
Making weak hands and feeble knees. Of the woman came the beginning of sin.
Right.
And through her we all die.
Right, now we're referring to who? Eve, right? Come on.
Give the water no passage. Neither a wicked woman liberty to gad abroad.
Neither a wicked woman liberty to gad abroad. So there's something called a wicked woman. All right. There's a wise woman. There's a righteous woman. But there's also something called a wicked woman. All right. And we have to understand that certain things, your actions put you in a certain category. Everybody understand that? Same thing with men. There's a wise man, a righteous man. There's a wicked man. All right. Let's read.
If she go not as thou would have her.
If what?
If she go not as thou would have her.
Who's the she in this statement, in this sentence? The what? What is the subject matter? The wicked woman, right? The wicked woman. Stay with the subject context, right? If the wicked woman would not go as thou would have her. Oh, hold on. Got a question here. Yeah, what's up? Run that by me again. A righteous man and a man that got wisdom. Okay, you can have wisdom, but are you using it? All right. You know what I'm saying? So you righteous, that's your actions. Or righteousness is your actions. Wisdom, you might have wisdom up here, right? The scriptures say there's a man that's profitable to many, but unprofitable to himself. Right?
Let me read that. Sirach 37 and 19.
You think of the same scripture.
There is one that is wise and teacheth many.
There's one that's wise and teach people all kind of scriptures and breakdowns and got all understanding of verses. Read on.
And yet is unprofitable to himself.
But he's not righteous because he's not doing what he's supposed to do himself. Right? Huh? That's 37:19, Sirach. All right. Read on.
There is one that shows wisdom in words.
He shows the wisdom in the word, give you this breakdown, that understanding. Read on.
And is hated.
And he's hated. Why? Because his actions are not following his word. Everybody understand that? All right. So that's the difference. Good question.
He shall be destitute of all food.
He shall be destitute of all food. Go ahead. Of what? Precept. Oh, same topic. All right. We're at 34:17. We were really at 25:26.
What happened is,
and what had happened was, one precept became another precept, right? So let's go back to where we're going. Let's go back to where we're going. Let's stay where we're at. Hold on. We're going back to Sirach
25 and 26. And she go not as thou would have her.
So we're breaking out who's the she in this wicked woman, right? She. If she goes not out, thou would have her. Go on.
Cut her off from thy flesh.
Cut her off from what?
From thy flesh.
Cut her off from your flesh. Mean that what? Stop what? Stop what? Right. Stop being intimate with her. All right. Cut her off from your flesh. Anybody understand that? Read.
And give her a bill of divorce and let her go.
Right. So then it leads to what? The first is separation, and then it leads to the bill, and it leads to the divorce. Right. So this is a situation for a wicked woman, not for a righteous woman. Okay. This is a woman that we went through, abated the courage. She making feeble hands and weak knees, down and down the lane of a wickedness of a woman. You go through that whole chapter, the 25th chapter, give you all the attributes, right, of a woman that is considered wicked. So if you want to know what would be considered wicked for a woman, Sirach the 25th chapter will break it all down for you, right? Go ahead. It says, give her a bill in her hand. That bill of divorcement, it'll be where it depends who did the certificate of marriage, right? It would go back to how the certificate of marriage was created, but it would be from the husband to the wife. It wouldn't necessarily be between the two of them. You know what I'm saying? Because there'll be a bill saying, that you no longer are responsible for her. You know what I mean? In the spirit and in the flesh. All right. So now this understanding, right, within Israel began to be perverted, meaning that if men were labeling their wives as wicked women just because they get a disagreement or something was not the way they wanted it to be. So men were running rampant with divorcing their wives. So they brought this argument to Hamashiach Yahushua. So let's see what he told them. Let's get Matthew 19 and verse 1.
And it came to pass that when Yahushua had finished these things, he departed from Galilee and came into the coast of Judea beyond Jordan. And great multitudes followed him and healed him there. The Pharisees also came unto him.
Right. Those were the leaders of the synagogues. They enforced the laws. They had a position of authority in the synagogues. Okay, so the Pharisees came on to Yahushua. Come on.
Tempting him, put away his wife for every cause.
Right. So then they went right to what we're talking about. What does it mean, put away? It means to divorce. So he said, is it lawful for a man to divorce his wife for any cause? Right? Right. So that any cause is for whatever cause. You know what I mean? You know, if you feel that, you know, she ain't right. Right? Read on.
And he answered and said unto them,
What do you say?
Have you heard, have you not read that he which made them at the beginning made them male and female?
Right.
And said, for this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh.
Right.
Wherefore they are no more twain, but one flesh.
Come on.
What therefore the Most High have joined together, let no man put asunder.
Right. So the Most High, and from the beginning, when he created man and woman, what did he tell them to do? Be fruitful and multiply. Right. So that's what it means, be twain and become one flesh. It means be fruitful and multiply. You become twain, and then what happens? The woman gets pregnant, right? And then the child, very simple, right? So he said, you twain become one flesh. You two have a child, right? Well, you may have multiple one fleshes, right? Read on.
They say unto him, why did Moses then command to give a writing of divorcement and to put her away?
So then they brought back to Yahushua. They said, well, Moses said, put the woman away if you found some what? Uncleanness in her. We just read it, right? Read on.
He said unto them,
come on.
Moses, because of the hardness of your hearts.
Because of the what?
The hardness of your hearts.
He said, because of the hardness of your hearts, Moses wrote this thing. What does that mean that our hearts are hard? Don't want to listen to what? You got a scripture? You got, or you know. What does that mean? He said by the heart, it said Moses wrote this because of the hardness of your heart. What does that mean? The hardness of our heart. Why did Moses write us a bill of divorcement? Why did this happen? All right. Why did this happen? Why did we need that? Wow. I'm usually bombarded with precepts, but it's kind of quiet in here. You can hear a pin drop. All right. Well, while y'all searching, all right.
Not as I got one.
That's what I got here too. All right. Jeremiah 5:23. He must have been in my book. All right. Give me Jeremiah 5 verse 23.
Who's that, son of Gershom?
Let's get that.
Jeremiah 5:23.
Come on.
But this people have a revolting and a rebellious heart.
What kind of heart?
A revolting and a rebellious heart.
A revolting and rebellious heart. Read on.
They are revolted and gone.
Mm-hmm.
Neither say they in their heart, let us know the fear of the Most High,
right.
Our power.
Come on.
That giveth rain, both the former and the latter. In its season, he reserveth unto us the appointed weeks of the harvest.
Right. So the heart of the children of Israel were what? Revolting and rebellious. That's why he says we have a hard heart. Because we were revolting and rebellious. Meaning that what? Whatever the Most High said do, we would try to find a way to do opposite. Right? If the Most High said marriage was forever, what would we say? Nope, it'll be temporary. Right? Because we are revolting and rebellious heart. So the Mashiach said, because of your disobedient hearts, you were giving this law of divorcement, right? But if you were righteous, you wouldn't need to divorce. Everybody understand that? When divorce come about, somebody is going off. Everybody understand that? All right. So now, because in our hearts it's said to do evil. Okay. It's usually a matter of the heart. It's usually how somebody feels when divorce comes about, right? Because our hearts are set to do evil. All right. Give me also Mark 7 and verse 20.
Mark 7 and 20. And he said, that which cometh out of the man, that defileth the man, for from within, out of the heart of men.
Out of the what?
Out of the heart of men.
Come on.
Proceed evil thoughts, adulteries, fornications, murders, covetousness, wickedness, deceit, lasciviousness, an evil eye, blasphemy, pride, foolishness. All these evil things come from within and defile the man.
Right. So what? The heart is full of a lot of what? Wickedness. So it's because our hearts were hardened, full of wickedness, did the Most High give this divorcement, right? Through Moses, right? Because we was not adhering to the laws, the statutes, and commandments of the Most High God. All right. So let's go back to now. Let's go back to see what else the Messiah is telling us here.
Matthew 19 and 7 and 8. He said unto them, Moses, because of the hardness of your hearts,
right,
suffered you to put away your wives, but from the beginning it was not so.
Right, from the beginning it was not so. It wasn't supposed to be putting away your wife. Read on. And
I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication.
Right, except it be for what?
Fornication.
What is fornication? Right, any unlawful sexual act is fornication. Is that the only kind of fornication? What do you mean spiritual fornication? I don't think nobody here serving Buddha. All right, but they might as well be with the stuff they come up with. All right, so
well, some they do say boo. Duh.
What you got?
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 15, verse 12.
That's where we need to be. Let's go. Wisdom of Solomon. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 15, verse 12. No, chapter 14, right? 14, verse 12. 14, verse 12.
Wisdom of Solomon 14, verse 12.
Uh-huh.
For the devising of idols,
right,
was the beginning of spiritual fornication.
Beginning of what?
Spiritual fornication.
Right, the devising of idols is the beginning of spiritual fornication. All right, read on.
And the invention of them, the corruption of life.
Right, and it corrupts your life. Meaning what? When these idols were made, people started to believe in them. So they believed in other gods, other philosophies, right? That begins, then their mind began to what? Fornicate. Their spirit began to fornicate, right? Meaning that what? You know what? I like the way they do things over here, right? That's fornication. If your God tells you, right, that marriage is forever, but this other person, right, is saying, oh, cut that zero and get with his hero, right? Or you can do bad by yourself, or whatever other philosophy they got, in this society, they're serving another God. And if they show themselves, say, look at me, I left my husband, I'm doing great, right? I don't got this, I got this, I got that. That person becomes an idol, a false idol to you. So you start thinking, you know what? I can walk in that person's footsteps. Look, they left their husband and they're okay. Why can't I leave mine and be okay? Right? This is devising of what? Spiritual fornication, right? Anybody trying to coerce you into doing something that's against the law, statute, commandments of the Most High God, right? And telling you that what? It's blessed. It's good. It's okay. All right? Yeah, what's up? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. That's right. Right. I know I ain't talking crazy. I'm in the same earth you are in. All right. So we see it all the time because these examples become idols. That's the time. Sometimes scripture talk about idols. We keep thinking about a statue, right? First thing that pops in your mind is a statue. But there's a lot more idols than that, than statues. People, we have a whole show called American Idol, right? Looking to idolize people. People idolize people. When you do that, you're moving from the Most High God. Everybody understand that? And if you're looking at the prosperity or so-called prosperity of somebody that's broken the commandments of the Most High, the scriptures say, envy not evildoers, right? And want none of their ways. That's what the scriptures say. So we're not to envy evildoers or want any of their ways. Yes, they did this. Yes, it seems like, you know what? They're okay. That doesn't mean it's going to be okay with you. All right? Well, the Most High will have mercy on whom he will have mercy. All right? And judgment on whom he will have judgment. All right? Go ahead. Jude 1:16.
Well, unfortunately, everybody relates success with monetary gain, right? Because they figure like you attain monetarily, you know, your accomplishment. That's just what somebody's going to say, whether you're doing good or bad. You understand?
Break down. So walk after their own love. Yeah, 16.
After their own liberation.
In what?
In admiration.
Come on.
In admiration.
We don't have men's what? In admiration. They admire people that have done wickedly because it seemed like they have obtained an advantage. But then you cast all the will of the Most High behind you, trying to obtain what that person obtained, right? Trying to be like Mike, right? Or Mary, or whoever is out there, right? Beyonce, right? Trying to be like her, you have fallen from the ways of the Most High God. Okay, so this is what happens. So this is the hardness that's in the hearts of men. That's why he said, listen, this was not so. This was not to be so. From the beginning, he created, when he told man and woman to multiply, this is what he's referring to when he's referencing Genesis 1, right? He's referencing Genesis 1. Matter of fact, let's get that real quick. And this is what we got to remember. In this battle, (1 and 28). Oh, you can start with 27. Genesis 1, 27 and 28.
Genesis 1, verse 27.
Mm-hmm.
So the Elohims created man in their own image.
Mm-hmm.
In the image of the Elohims created he him. Male and female created he them.
Right.
And the Elohims blessed them. And the Elohims said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that move upon the earth.
Right. So he blessed them and said unto them, be fruitful and multiply. Well, we know what it takes to do that. To be fruitful and multiply, you must what? You must marry. You cannot be fruitful and multiply without marrying. Everybody understand that? In the Most High, at least, right? You cannot be fruitful and multiply without marrying. Marrying is when what you lay with that woman, she becomes your wife, right? So now, he need to what? Replenish and multiply and fill the earth, become one flesh. What is that? The outcome of the marriage. All right. So this is what the Most High has prescribed from the beginning. But man in their own heart have come with other ideas, right? Other situations, other fornications, whether it be spiritual or physical. A lot of physical fornication comes about because of spiritual fornication. Because you first got an idea, right? Sin is conceived first where? In the mind, right? It's conceived. That's where the baby of sin is conceived, in the mind. Before we could talk about fleshly fornication, we must understand spiritual fornication. When your head, you thought that you can do this because you didn't put the will of the Most High first. All right. So now, let's go back to Matthew's.
Matthew 19, verse 9.
Uh-huh.
And I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication, and shall marry another, committeth adultery, and whosoever marrieth her which is put away doth commit adultery.
Right, because now you leave the woman, she didn't commit adultery, right? Therefore, you leave her what? Without a husband, what is she eventually going to do? She's going to get a new husband, right? She's going to join herself to another man. When she does that, the former man is now guilty of what? Adultery. She's guilty of it, and the new husband is guilty of it. So now you got three people committing adultery. All right? Him because he left the woman, her because she didn't keep to herself, and the new man because he got with that married woman. All right? So for all these reasons was what? Divorce created. All right? It was created to avoid these situations. All right? Because now a bill of divorcement is a bill that allows the woman to marry again. All right? But this bill could only be given if what? It is how could you say the uncleanness was fornication. Right? Can only be given if it was up to a level of fornication. All right? Sis. Mark 10 and 10. Let's get it. Mark. Right. Yeah, we get into this understanding. It's the same, it's basically the same thing. Read it.
Mark 10 and 10.
Uh-huh.
And in the house, the disciples asked him again of the same matter. And he said unto them, whosoever shall put away his wife and marry another.
Matter of fact, you know what? Start from verse 5.
This is the same story?
It's the same. It's basically the same, but the way he summed it up in Mark 10 and 10, or 10 and 11, really, is on point. Let's start verse 5 real quick. No, I don't go further because we read all that already in the previous.
Mashak answered and said unto them,
right?
For the hardness of your heart, he wrote you this precept.
Now, we're going back to the hardness of the heart, right? That's why he wrote the precept. What precept is he referring to? Deuteronomy and 1. For the hardness of his heart, this is why he wrote this precept. This is why Moses wrote this precept. When he say he's referring to Moses. This is why he gave the bill of divorcement. Read on.
From the beginning of the creation, the Elohim made them male and female.
Right.
For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife.
Come on.
And they twain shall be one flesh.
Right.
So then they are no more twain, but one flesh.
Come on.
What therefore the Elohims have joined together, let no man again on the same matter.
Right. So after you said all that, the disciples still was thinking. He came back to the Messiah and was like, listen, give us some more understanding on this that you're talking about. Right? Read on.
And he said unto them, whosoever shall put away his wife and marry another,
right,
committeth adultery against her.
Right.
And if a woman shall put away her husband and be married to another, she committeth adultery.
Right. So same scenario. You cannot. What kind of putting away is this? This putting away that it's talking about, it's divorce, right? You leaving your husband, you leaving your wife, right? Just so you can what? To do what? To get with somebody else, right? You cannot leave your husband, your wife to get with somebody else. That's unlawful. So it's saying the same thing, but it's just summing it up. You know what I mean? That is unlawful, right? When can there be a bill of divorcement and what type of scenario? Fornication. That is it. That is the only way. But if you leave them for any other reason, right? It's adultery, right? So you got to put precept on top of precept, put them together. That's why I should say precept must be upon precept. So if you read this by itself, you might go, is putting away for anything, right? But now we know we put this precept with Matthew's, with Deuteronomy 24, and we get an understanding now, right? That the bill of divorcement had a purpose or has a purpose for a specific situation, right? If your woman is in the house and she's fornicating, right? Right? Even if your husband's fornicating, right? Because what would fornication for a man? What is fornication for a man? No. Huh? Who somebody said it back there? I heard somebody say it. They want to say it, but I heard him say it, right? He's what? He's laying with a married woman, right? Your husband's out there cheating with he's out there not cheating, but committing adultery with another man's wife. He's committing fornication. Right or wrong? Tell your man, what was that old Barbara Mason song? Another man is stealing your time. Another man is loving mine. Right? That is some wickedness, right? I'm going way back. That's too far back for them. Right? If you're like a lot of undercover, undercover brother dealing with a man on the side, listen, that woman ain't got to deal with that. This man is committing fornication. Everybody understand this? We gotta have this clear, right? This man has gone way to the left, right? Bestiality, whatever he's dealing with, is all matter of fornication, right? That woman ain't put up with that, right? Everybody understand that? Okay, we gotta have clarity on this because this is one topic that's very unclear in Israel. I hear a lot of things in Israel. I don't think they've read these scriptures completely. Mm-hmm.
It's something like, come on, like you supposed to flip before you want to go down. But he had that type of issue.
Mm-hmm.
So is that another form of fornication?
No, that's just a gambling problem. You know what I mean? There's ways to pray and deal with that matter. You know what I mean? But this right here, these fornication, you gotta understand, all sin is out. Let's get that scripture. Give me 1 Corinthians. Let me tell you what's the difference between fornication sin differently than other sins. All right. Yeah. Give me 1 Corinthians 6. And you can start with 15. 18 is where the point is, but you can start with 15.
1 Corinthians 6 and 15. Know ye not that your bodies are the members of Yahushua?
Right.
Shall I then take the members of Yahushua and make them the members of an harlot?
Right.
Most I forbid.
Right.
What? Know ye not that he which is joined to the harlot is one body?
Mm-hmm.
For two, saith he, shall be one flesh.
Right. So you lay with a harlot, right? Now you're laying with what? You're joining yourself to what? A fornicator, right? A harlot is a fornicator. Everybody understand that? What's the harlot? A woman that has is a what? Lady of the night. Well, a harlot actually is business, right? It's business, right? So she slays with money for men for money. You know what I mean? So she's what they call it, the oldest profession. I think America calls it, right? So she lays with men for money, right? So if you join yourself to a harlot, right? A fornicator, right? You now are one with that fornicator. Everybody understand that? And you too are a fornicator. You understand that? So you can't say I hired a harlot and then say she's a fornicator. Well then what are you? Right? You're a fornicator too, right?
I just thought about it. For the males that's envying out the strippers and all of these things,
Mhm.
videos, those are what we're talking about. Not their point, they're selling their body to the men.
They're selling their bodies for
The
money.
men actually proposing to marry them.
Yeah, yeah. They fell in love with a stripper. I get it. Right? Read on.
But he that is joined unto the Mashiach is one spirit.
Right, but he that is joined unto the Messiah is one spirit with the Messiah. Right? So when you come into these laws, statutes, and commandments, you're joining yourself to the Messiah. Read on. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you.
Flee fornication.
Do what?
Flee fornication.
Do what?
Flee fornication.
So what's the end matter is we flee fornication. Read on.
Every sin that a man doeth is without the body.
Many sins men do it is without the body. Right? Read on.
But he that committeth fornication,
But he that commit fornication, read on,
sinneth against his own body.
you sin against your own body, right? You hurting yourself. You're defiling your own self. Everybody understand that? When you commit fornication, you're defiling your own body. Okay, you're making your vessel defiled, and for that sin is different than most other sin. You steal is outside the body, right? But when you fornicate, that's something you're defining your own self, your own vessel. All right? Read on.
What? Know ye not that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit, which is in you,
Right?
which ye have of the Most High, and ye are not your own?
Come on.
For ye are bought with a price. Therefore glorify Yah in your body and in your spirit, which are the Most High.
Right. So you have to use your body the way the Most High allowed you to use it. Everybody understand that? All right. So fornication destroys your vessel, your body. You join yourself to a fornicator, now you're a fornicator too, right? What's your question? But I had another question in the back before your question. Go ahead. Go with your question. Well, I mean, it can lead to that, but that's not where you start. You start with counseling, with righteousness. A lot of times you have a gambling problem. That's not your only problem, right? You have a whole bunch of problems that lead to that gambling problem, right? So we need to start where the problem began that ended up at the gambling problem, all right? Sometimes that be the thing that you pay attention to, but that's not the beginning of the issue, all right? Brother, I forget his name. Okay, you need clarity. Okay. What clarity do you need? What part don't you understand? That's not fornication. That's not what I said. Oh, okay. Okay, clarity. Clarity. Okay. Keep reading where?
When you saying you want clarity, in what sense? What do you mean?
Okay, you wasn't here earlier, right? Okay, yeah, that's what it is. All right? So we gotta play catch up because we went over there earlier that a man, a man can have as much wives as he see fit. There's no law saying a man has a limit of wives or anything like that. But there's wisdom. All right, there's wisdom that need to be used. We're not telling men to go out and go get a whole heap of wives and can't deal with that that type of relationships. You know what I mean? Now, What is marriage? Marriage is when a man, right, gets with a unbetrothed, unpromised woman, right? She's single. She ain't got nobody. She's not tied to nobody, right? If he gets with that woman, that's his wife, right? Now, if he decides to get with another unbetrothed, woman, that's marriage again, right? That has nothing to do with the previous marriage. What I said was fornication now, right? If he goes and gets a woman that's married to another man, you know what I mean? Then that man, then that man is committing fornication, right? He's committing adultery, right? He's committing adultery, and you know what? That's going to mash up everything he got going on, right? Because let's say he had another wife, right? She find her husband's committing adultery with another man's wife, she might have grounds for divorcement. You know what I mean? Because you are a fornicator. Everybody understand that? All right, so that's grounds for divorcement. So, yes, we understand multiple wives. We like I said, we don't advocate, but we understand that it's lawful, right? But what we have to understand is the difference between putting away lawfully and putting away unlawfully, right? There's an unlawful way of putting a wife away, right? Then there's a lawful way. If the woman was committing fornication, you try to deal with the woman, but it ain't working out, then you give her a bill of divorcement. You are no longer tied to that woman. That doesn't, when the scriptures say if a man marries a woman that was put away, it's not put away rightly, put away wickedly, right? Meaning that he just put her away. And then she's out there. Yes, he committed adultery. Everybody understand that? The scripture is telling us this clear. Like we're seeing something that's really not there. Let's go back to Matthew's. Let's clear it all up. Let's go back to Matthew's. Any other questions? If anything is clear, I want to make sure everything is clear. Right? We understand this because this fornication is something that hurts us as a nation. And because we're not clear on what fornication is, sometimes we can fall into this, you know what I mean, into these actions. All right.
That's why it's important for, you know, we know the Torah portion begins at, you know, noon, 12:30. A lot of times, you know, you show up late, then we got to repeat over again, and it draws out the portion. So try to get here on time that we don't have to go back over anything. And sometimes, you know, others may feel it's being repetitive, right? So try to make it here on time so we can run through this and everybody gets understanding. We don't have to go back and forth on the understanding. So we're at Matthew 19, and we left off at 10. 19 verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
The disciples said to him, if the case of the man be so with his wife, it is not good to marry.
Mm-hmm.
But he said unto them, all men cannot receive this saying, same day to whom it is given. For there are some eunuchs which were born from their mother's womb.
Right. So some people were born a eunuch. What does that mean? What does it mean, a eunuch? What is a eunuch? Somebody preserved from the Most High, right. Someone born, right, unable to be intimate, physically unable to be intimate with a woman. Right. Read on.
And there are some eunuchs which were made eunuchs of men, and there be eunuchs which have made themselves eunuchs for the kingdom of heaven's sake.
Right. So there was some that a man went and chopped off their privy member, right? And you know, they could no longer be intimate with a woman. And then there was some that were made eunuchs through their own spirit. They just won't deal with no woman. They're just gonna heap themselves for the Most High God, right? They say, put your hand down now. I don't know what you say, right? Put your hand down. I don't add nothing, right? So there was some that was that chose to be in a eunuch spirit, right? And they just reserved themselves only for the Most High. All right. So that's a spiritual sense of the word eunuch. All right. Read on.
He that is able to receive it, let him receive it.
Right. Yes. He that able to receive it, let him receive it. I mean that this is not for everybody. Everybody can understand this. If you can understand it, understand it. All right. So we clearing up, you know, divorce. and marriage. Give me Malachi 2 and 14. Book of Malachi 2 and 14.
Malachi 2 verse 14.
Uh-huh.
Yet ye say, wherefore? Because the Most High have been witness between thee and the wife of thy youth,
Right.
against whom thou have dealt treacherously.
Dealt what?
Treacherously.
Come on.
Yet is she thy companion,
Right.
and the wife of thy covenant.
Come on.
And did not he make one? Yet had he the residue of the Spirit,
Mhm.
and wherefore one? That he might seek a righteous seed. Therefore take heed to your spirit, and let none deal treacherously against the wife of his youth.
Right.
For Yahweh, the power of Israel, said that
Hate it, man. He hateth putting away. Right? He hated when we have to go through bills of divorcement, things of that sort. I mean, these things exist because Moses gave it to us. It's in the law, Torah. But the Most High is not, he doesn't want us to have to go that route. Because if we have to go with the bill of divorcement, that means somebody is unrepentive. Somebody is in sin and will not be corrected. Read.
for one covereth violence with his garment,
Right.
saith Yahweh of hosts.
Uh-huh.
Therefore take heed to your spirit, that ye deal not treacherously.
Right. He said like one that covereth violence with his garment, meaning that what tries to hide. You know what I mean? Because of some other sort of wickedness and tries to cover it up. Right. So let's keep in mind there is a bill of divorcement, but it's not something that we should be looking for, something we should be wanting to get involved in. If it so happens that there's no choice and that's what it is, then that's what it is. Right. You put the bill of divorcement and it's signed and that's it. Everybody understand that? It's given to us. Let's go back to Deuteronomy 24. This our one again.
Deuteronomy 24 verse 1. When a man have taken a wife and married her, and it came to pass that she find no favor in his eyes, because he hath found some uncleanness in her, then let him write her a bill of divorcement, and give it in her hand, and send her out of his house. And when she is departed out of his house, she may go and be another man's wife. And if the latter husband hate her, and write her a bill of divorcement, and give it in her hand, and send her out of his house, or if the latter husband die, which took her to be his wife, her former husband, which sent her away, may not take her again to be his wife. After that she is defiled, for that is an abomination before Yahweh. And thou shalt not cause the land to sin, which Yahweh thy power giveth thee for an inheritance.
So everybody understand that if you have a wife, y'all got divorced, she moved on, right? Then she finds herself divorced again, or even the husband died, right, that she was married to, you can never be with her again, right? So once you divorce a woman, you can never be with that woman again. Everybody understand that? That's the main understanding there, right? It gave a whole long scenario, but the reality of it is this. If you married a woman and you divorced her, you can never be with her again, all right? And in Torah, all right? You had a question? Right. There's no makeups or breakups, right? You know, I used to be with him and we together and I was with another guy that got back with him. It doesn't work that way with the Most High. That's confusion, all right? If you work together once, you work it out. If you split and you stay single until you work it out and get back together, that's one thing. But if you go with somebody else, there's no going back to that former person. All right? Make sense? All right. Let's read.
When a man hath taken a new wife, he shall not go out to war, neither shall he be charged with any business, but he shall be free at home for 1 year, and shall cheer up his wife which he have taken.
Right. So he gets to get some time off. You get a new wife, he should be with her for 1 year. Go ahead, Kadash. Uh-huh.
If a woman sleeps with another man, right, while you guys are like separated, you can't take her back, right? Or is that your decision?
You never gave her a bill of divorcement, you know. All right, so she committed adultery, basically. All right, so now that's simple. She committed adultery. So now you have to make a choice, right? I cannot say you cannot take her back. You cannot take her back if you gave her a bill of divorcement. You understand what I'm saying? Because you gave her license to be with somebody else. Now she just committed adultery on you. So now you have to be able to make that determination. Are you going to deal with that, or are you going to put her away? You know what I mean? So, but I cannot tell you you can't forgive her. You know what I mean? But that's up to you. It's in your spirit. You know what I mean? I don't know. But you do. But you can legally put her away. You know what I mean? And divorce her. All right. Okay. All right. Once you give her that bill of divorce, you remember that bill of divorcement is saying ultimately, in the spirit, she can actually be joined to someone else in the sight of the Most High, right? That's what you're saying. You know what I mean? So you can't. There's no backseas on that. You know what I mean? You can't renege that. Once you put that out there, that's it. It's signed and sealed. All right. I see you standing there. Huh? Okay, all right. I saw you pop up on me. I was like, oh, all right. All right. I saw you pop up quick. I was like, uh-oh. All right, let's read it.
No man shall take neither of the upper milestone to pledge, for he taketh a man's life to pledge.
Mm-hmm.
If a man be found stealing any of his brethren or his children of Israel, and maketh merchandise of him or selleth him, then that thief shall die, and thou shalt put away evil from among you.
Right.
Take heed in the plague of leprosy, that thou observe diligently and do according to all that the priests, the Levites, shall teach you, as I commanded them. So you shall observe to do.
Right. So we went over the procedures of leprosy when we were in the book of Leviticus. It breaks it down with all the details on what the priest got to do. Put you away 7 days, bring you back out, check if it's in the hair, if it's in the skin. But he's saying here, make sure you adhere to all that the priests tell you must do to cleanse yourself when found leprosy upon you, all right, or in your home. All right, let's read.
Remember what the Most High thy power did unto Miriam by the way, after that ye were come forth out of Egypt.
Right.
When thou dost lend thy brother anything, thou shalt not go into his house to fetch his pledge. Thou shalt stand abroad, and the man to whom thou dost lend shall bring out the pledge abroad unto thee.
Right. So if you lend somebody some money, that don't mean you can go ransack their house and say, where my money at? Just the way they came and got it from you, it's where they come bring it back to you. Right? Doesn't give you right to, say, I'm taking my money back. All right, read.
And if the man be poor, thou shalt not sleep with his pledge.
Right.
In any case, thou shalt deliver him the pledge again when the sun goeth down, that he may sleep in his own raiment, and bless thee, and it shall be righteousness unto thee before Yahweh thy power.
Right. So if you owe somebody something, give it to them. Hurry up and give it to them when you have it. Don't sit on it and sleep on it. Meanwhile, the person needs it. Okay, so make sure you give scriptures. There's another scripture say, "Do not let the wages of a man stay with thee overnight." Meaning that somebody work for you, do something for you, and you have the money for them, give it to them. Hurry up and give it to them. Don't hold on to the money. All right, go ahead. You ask somebody to give you a ride, right? And when they gave you a ride, they say they want to charge you, and they ain't say nothing about charging before. Right. That's when he charge you. Now you're on the highway. Well, it sounds like the brother tried to defraud you, brother. You know what I mean? You can't get off the highway now. Now you got to pay. I could drop you off right here, and you gonna speedily agree with him at that point. Yeah, I'll pay you because I ain't trying to put on the highway. Yeah, that guy tried to pull a fast one on you, brother. That guy's off. I wouldn't get any more rides from that brother right there. All right, that'd be the last ride for me. Courage. No, whatever agreement you have with them, right? But let's say your agreement is to pay them on Thursday, right? And you have the money Thursday, but you don't feel like paying them. You don't feel like going down there. I'll get them tomorrow. That's the problem right there, right? I'll get them tomorrow when you could have done it today. The scriptures say don't put off for tomorrow what you can do today, right? So that's what the law is where it plays out. If you have an agreement, that's your agreement, right? Come on. I want to avoid going to precepts before the priest came. All right, so this class going way too long. Let's read. We're gonna be here till 9 o'clock at this rate. We gotta finish this.
13. In any case, thou shalt deliver him in a pledge again when the sun goeth down, that he may sleep in his own raiment and bless thee, and it shall be righteous unto thee before Yahweh thy power. Thou shalt not oppress and hide servant that is poor and needy, whether he be of thy brethren or thy strangers that are in the land within thy gates.
Right, so you got to also think about who you hiring. Like you said, should I pay them at the end of the week? If you know a cat is, he needs the money, give him the money. Right? If you have to give to him, give it to him. Don't think that, I ain't giving it to him, I'm making wait for no reason. You know what I mean? Keep that in mind. The brother needs that money daily and he's doing his work daily. Give him his money daily. All right, read.
You might pay him, then he might not show up the rest of the week.
Only pay him for that day. All
right. 15. At his day thou shalt give him his hire, neither shall the sun go down upon it, for he is poor, and set up his heart upon it.
Right.
Lest he cry against thee unto the Most High, and it be sin unto thee.
Right. Because if you go to the Most High on you, you might be found in sin. All right. Was he go pray to the Most High? Listen, man, I worked for this guy all day. He didn't give me no money, and your pocket full of money, right? But you don't feel like giving it to him because you're afraid him not to come the next day. Give the man his money, all right? Because the man, before you pray to the Most High find you guilty, right?
The father shall not be put to death for the children, neither shall the children be put to death for the fathers. Every man shall be put to death for his own sin.
Right. So if you're gonna be put to death, it's because of what you did, not because somebody else did. All right, read.
Thou shalt not pervert the judgment of the stranger, nor the fatherless, nor take in widow's raiment to pledge.
Right.
But thou shalt remember that thou was a bondman in Egypt,
right? And
Yahweh thy power redeemed thee thence. Therefore, I command thee to do this thing.
Right. So you can't be taking bribes, and you can't do unjust judgment, even if it's a heathen. you still got to be you still got to be right. Right? You still got to be ethical and lawful in your dealings, even if it's a heathen. All right? Chantel. Okay, yeah, that was prepare slaughter for his children. That's a prophecy. All right. This is laws pertaining how we govern ourselves. But yes, this is our laws. This is our constitution. You know what I mean? That other Isaiah is a prophecy of what's going to happen to his children. His children already, they good as dead, right? Ain't nothing they can do about it, right? So there should be no more left of the house of Esau.
Right.
All right. That's we can't change that. No law will be able to change that. 18.
But thou shalt remember that thou was a bondman in Egypt, and Yahweh thy power redeemed thee thence. Therefore I command thee to do this thing. When thou cut down thine harvest in thy field, and I forgot a sheep in the field, thou shalt not again go to fetch it. It shall be for the stranger, for the fatherless, and for the widow.
Right.
That Yahweh thy power may bless thee in all the work of thine hands.
Mm-hmm.
When thou beateth thine olive tree, thou shalt not go over the boughs again. It shall be for the stranger, for the fatherless, and for the widow. When thou gatherest the grapes of thy vineyard, thou shalt not glean it afterward. It shall be for the stranger, for the fatherless, and for the widow. And thou shalt remember that thou was a bondman in the land of Egypt. Therefore I command thee to do this thing.
Right. So what does it say? We got to be charitable. Right. When you get, don't leave a little something for somebody else. Right, leave a little something whenever possible. Right, if you don't take it all. Don't leave the gleanings in your harvest on your trees. Don't put your tree. Right, if you got a mango tree, right, leave something up there. You never know. Somebody might come by, need a mango one day. Right, so keep that in mind. And he says, always remember that thou wert servants in Egypt, meaning that the condition that we in now. Remember, these laws are for a free people. These laws are for a self-governed people. Right now, we're in captivity, right? When we're self-governed and we have our lands and our places, you're going to see how important these laws are, or how we deal with one another, and what kind of environment it will create. But right now, we're in our captivity, so some of us may not have these ability to keep all these, to exercise these commandments. But it's just for us to know in our spirit that when the time comes that you can give many, allow excess for charity. All right, allow excess for charity. Let's read
25th chapter. If there be a controversy between men, and they come unto judgment, that the judges may judge them, then they shall judge and condemn the wicked.
Right.
And it shall be, if the wicked man be worthy to be beaten, that the judge shall cause him to lie down, and to be beaten before his face, according to his fault, by a certain number.
Right.
40 stripes he may beat him above these with many stripes. Then thy brother should seem vile unto thee.
Right. So what? You only can give somebody as much as what? 40 stripes. Don't whip the man more than 40 times. Right? More than 40, then he'll start looking at you like, you must enjoy this, man. Right? Now it might be a personal thing. Right? But if you get sentenced to 40 stripes, to the full amount of stripes, it can only be 40 stripes. All right? Oh, okay. Let's read.
Thou shalt not muzzle the ox when he treadeth out the corn.
Right, it's one of my favorite scriptures right here. Right? Thou shalt not muzzle the ox that treadeth out the corn. That means what? If you're working, right? Feed him. Right? He's working. Feed him. All right? It said a prophet is worthy of his hire. Right? If we going to do the work, we need to eat. Thus saith the Most High. Right? So let's read on.
If brethren dwell together, and one of them die and have no child, the wife of the dead shall not marry without unto a stranger her husband, her husband's brother shall go in unto her and take her to wife, take to him to wife, and perform the duty of a husband's brother unto her. And it shall be that the firstborn which she bears shall succeed in the name of his brothers which is dead, that his name be not put out of Israel.
Everybody understand that? If you're a man and you have a brother, the brother has a wife. Your brother passes away, your wife has no male child, no child. Then you go in onto that wife and you'll have a child. That child that is born, you're going to name him after your brother. And that child shall carry your brother's inheritance. Whatever he had, it shall be carried with him. It shall be taken with him. All right? Read.
And if the man like not to take his brother's wife, then let his brother's wife go up to the gate unto the elders and say, my husband's brother refuses to raise up unto his brother a name in Israel. He will not perform the duty of his husband's brother. Then the elders of the city shall call him and speak unto him. And if he stand to it and say, I like not to take her, then shall his brother's wife come unto him in the presence of the elders and loose his shoe from off his foot and spit in his face, and shall answer and say, so shall it be done unto that man that will not build up his brother's house. And his name shall be called in Israel the house of him that have the shoe loose.
Right. So that's a terrible thing to do. Right? Because you got to think. All you got to do is lay with the woman and bring forth a child for your brother. Right? And then when a child comes out, you name it after your brother, and that child will then take all will now own everything that your brother had. And it goes on from him. What? We'll take care of him. So don't be the house that the brother that you had to loose your shoe and get get spit in your face, and do the duties of a brother's a husband's brother. All right. Question? Yeah, he owned it, and he was slick with it. Yeah, he's slick with it. Drop it on the ground. Most High was wroth with him for that one. All right. Let's read.
When men strive together one with another, and the wife of the one draweth near forth to deliver her husband out of the hand of him that smiteth him,
Right.
and putteth forth her hand and take of him by the secrets.
Right. So now, all right, this is for all y'all brothers that got y'all thug wives, right? If you're out there fighting and your wife get involved and grab the man by the secrets, right? It's by his privy member, right? You can't do that, right? Is it jammy? Right? Grab him his jammy, whatever the case may be, right? Read on.
Then thou shalt cut off her hand.
Do what?
Cut off her hand.
Do what?
Cut off her hand.
You cannot grab the man in his privy member, right?
It's jammy.
Or his jammy, or whatever you want to call it, right? All right. She's going to lose her hand. Read on.
Thine eyes shall not pity her.
I should not pity her. She should have not get involved. Read.
Thou shalt not have in thy bag divers weights, a great and a small. Thou shalt not have in thy house divers measures, a great and a small. Thou shalt not have a perfect and just weight, a perfect and just measure in the land which Yahweh thy power giveth thee.
Right.
For all that do such things and all that do unrighteously are an abomination unto Yahweh thy power.
Come on.
Remember what Amalek did unto thee by the way when you were come forth out of Egypt, how he met thee by the way and smote the hindmost of thee, even all that were feeble behind thee, when thou wast faint and weary, and he feared not the Most High. Therefore it shall be when Yahweh thy power have given thee rest from all thine enemies round about, in the land which Yahweh thy power giveth thee for an inheritance to possess it, that thou shalt blot out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven, and thou shalt forget it.
And thou shalt what?
Thou shalt Thou shalt not forget it.
Thou shalt not forget it. Meaning that what? When you get back in the land, remember Amalek and destroy them fools right there. Right? And don't forget it. Right? Don't let it slide. All right. Most High ain't letting that one slide. All right. All praises be to the prophet Amos and Jacob. That ends the portion. Get the Most High hand for a wonderful portion. I know Salaki was lengthy, but it was a lot of information. I try to keep it moving, but you know, precept must be upon precept. All right. So upon precept, upon precept. All right. So, but definitely got a lot of information. I hope that it was clarity on fornication and marriage and divorce. You know, I know these topics are rough in Israel as we come into this truth, but we have to make sure that we're keeping these things, you know, because the scriptures say no fornicator shall enter into the kingdom of heaven. So that's why it's very important that we understand if we're in transgression or fornication. All right. At this time, we're going to send the closing prayer, praise, and we're going to head out. All praises be to the Most High. Hallelujah. Hallelujah! 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 Who's the power? Who's the power? Holy, holy, holy is the name of Noah. Yahweh. Holy, holy, holy is the name. Mashiach. Yahushua. Yahweh Yahweh. Mashiach Yahushua. Mashiach Yahushua. Barakatah Yahweh. Hashem. Mashiach. Yahushua. Delanoah. Hashabbat. Shalom. Babakashah. Shemai. Zapalayim. Barak, Ramapah, Wakazak, Wamagun, Washmael, Akim, Wa, Akwathim, Babakushah, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Hamashiach, Yahushai, Yachak, Shaitan, Yachak, Shaitan, Yachak, Ko, Rai, Rahim, Yachak, Ko, Rai, Rahim, Babakushah. All praises be to the power of Amos, to Shabbat day in peace. We ask you how to heal, protect, watch over, and make strong the children of Israel, the brothers and the sisters of Yasharallah. We also ask Yahweh to continue to be with thy people in these last days, continue to build us up in thy spirit, and prepare us for the coming of Mashiach Yahushua, for we know our salvation is nearer than when we believe. Continue to put a spirit of healing amongst all those infirmities in their body. All right, bless our brother Kenneth that he's made whole. All this we ask in the name of the Mashiach Yahushua. Babakushah Yahweh, receive our supplication, our prayer this day. Guide us as we go forth to teach thy people, and then be edified by thy word. All this we ask in the name of Mashiach Yahushua. Let all that have breath praise Yahweh. Let all that have breath praise Yahweh. Let all that have breath praise Yahweh. By Hashem Mashiach Yahushua, Tawad Tamiyad, Aman. Hallelujah. In the mouth of babes, Yahweh perfected praise. In the mouth of babes, Yahweh perfected praise. In the mouth of babes, Yahweh perfected praise. Hallelujah, hallelujah. From the top, from the top. In the mouth of babes, Yahweh perfected praise. In the mouth of babes, Yahweh perfected praise. In the mouth of babes, Yahweh perfected praise. Hallelujah, hallelujah. One more time. In the mouth of babes, Yahweh perfected praise. In the mouth of babes, Yahweh perfected praise. In the mouth of babes, Yahweh perfected praise. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Glory, 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 glory. Glory, glory, hallelujah, hallelujah, yeah. Was trying to be a ruler. Our enemy shall fall right before our feet. While the saints come marching on. From the top. Glory, glory, hallelujah, hallelujah, yeah. Was trying to be a ruler. Our enemy shall fall right before our feet. While the saints go marching on. Hold on. While the saints go marching on and on and on and on. While the saints go marching on. While the saints go marching on. There's no power. There's no power like Yahweh, great King of the universe.
Wondrous things.
Let all Israel sing it. Sing amen.
Amen, 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 amen.
Amen. Hallelujah. 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 Amen. 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 Hallelujah. Hallelujah. One more time from the top. There's no power
Like Yahweh,
great King of the universe, always doing
wondrous things.
Let all Israel
Sing his name.
Sing it again.
Amen, 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 amen.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah, hallelujah. Amen, 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 amen. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.
Let's go. 1,
Abraham,
2,
Isaac,
3,
Jacob.
4,
Before you wake up
5,
to reality,
6,
nationality,
hit
Israel, Israel, Israel,
Israel.
late at night when I'm sleeping in my spirit, something's creeping in my bones. In my bones, in my bones. Oh, you want me to take it off?
I think I'll keep my singing going. Here we go. Let's get to heaven. Let's get to heaven. Let's go. When I get to heaven, people gonna say, how'd you earn your living?
How you earned your living?
How'd you earn your pay?
How you earned your pay?
And I reply with a little bit of anger.
And I reply with a little bit of anger.
Earn my living as an Israelite ranger.
Earn my living as an Israelite ranger.
I carry my Bible by my side.
I carry my Bible by my side.
Gonna carry my Bible. Die.
Gonna carry my Bible to the day that I die.
Israel. Hallelujah.
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 Praise his name.
Hallelujah.
Praise his name.
Hallelujah.
Highest praise.
Hallelujah.
Highest praise.
Hallelujah.
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 All praises.
Real. Yahweh shines real to me. Hallelujah. Oh, yeah. He gives me the victory. Many people doubt him, but I can't live without him. That is why I love him so. Yahweh shall get the praise. Real. Yahweh shines real to me. Hallelujah. Oh, yeah. He gives me the victory. Many people doubt him, but I can't live without him. That is why I love him so. Yahweh shall get the praise. We got another one. Doubt him, but I can't live without him. That is why I love him so. Yahweh shall get the praise. Real. Yahweh shall is real to me. Hallelujah. Oh, yeah. He gives us the victory. Many people doubt him, but I can't live without him. That is why I love him so. Yahweh shall get the praise. There's one more. The one day we standing tall and looking good. Oh, standing tall and looking good. Preach it to the neighborhood. Standing tall and looking good. Preach it to the neighborhood. Hallelujah.